Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing fantastic. Today you're in for a very special treat. I encourage you to stay and watch the short presentation before moving forward. It will only take about 15 to 20 minutes of your time, and then you'll be better prepared to get started with generating the regular profits made possible by our Facebook bot. I'll talk more about that later. I'll be upfront with you. This isn't another one of those binary option scams that focus on currency trading. You know the ones. It's not like all the supposedly free software out there, which comes with a highly limited number of available licenses attached either. There are no limits here, but if you can't take the time to listen to some basic information about the system before earning profits of as much as 230% a month, and I'm talking real money with the proof to back my claims, then please leave now. I need patient people who are willing to pay attention to the information put before them. People who are capable of making informed decisions. Now, I mean it. If you can't take 15 minutes to hear an explanation of what's being offered here and get your bearings, then I sure don't want you here. My name is Melissa Walters. Over the last 3 years, I've made more than 50 million from Facebook stock, and I want to show you how easy it is for you to do the same. Make no qualms about it. With just the remainder of 2015, you can earn as much as $500,000 or even more by utilizing my experience and help. That's actually a low goal considering what I've been able to do myself in just the last 3 years, but I'm setting it low on purpose. See, I'm the kind of person who's known for delivering more than I promise, and I mean that in a good way. There are strong odds you can make even more than $500,000 by utilizing my system. The best part of the service is that you don't need to pay a dime for it. And I know what you're thinking right now, that this is too good to be true. You're sick and tired of hearing all the schemes, the scams, the pitches, and the promises that lead to nothing substantial. You're probably eyeing that bright red X button near the top right corner of your browser even as I'm saying this, and I don't blame you. Even professional investors like me get hosed from time to time by bogus deals and bad businesses. This isn't something you need to worry about with my Facebook bot. I'll explain all about how that works. I'm not selling Forex stocks. I'm not selling penny stocks. I'm not really selling any stock at all, actually. What I'm selling is the tried and true method I've used myself to gather a fortune through Facebook stock over the last 3 years. Everything will make perfect sense in just a few minutes. You'll understand why the Facebook stock approach has worked so well for me, why it continues to work so well, and how it can work just as well for you too. You'll also learn how to use the system for yourself to make a profit of $5,000 at the very least in the remainder of 2015. That's just a handful of months. I'm not asking for any hefty initial deposit, and you can start your account with as little as $200 if you choose. I'm not looking for any financial commitment from you. In fact, I'll tell you why Facebook stock is in a prime position to escalate in value, and I won't even charge you a dime for this quick lesson. You should always be sure you trust any investment you make, so why can you trust Facebook? With a current equity value totaling more than $217 billion, that's billion with a B, Facebook is one of the most valuable companies in the world today. When I saw what an amazing draw the website was for people from all age brackets, income groups, and walks of life, I knew it was going to become a huge hit, and I was right about that. But before I get into that, I want you to know a little more about the company you would be investing money with. 1. Facebook is ubiquitous with the online world today. Login credentials from Facebook can be used to access a number of other websites, and people scan the Facebook pages of others regularly. 2. After struggling with an initial crash of their share value, which started at $38 and went as low as $17.73, Facebook has brought around the value of their shares to $88, more than a 200% profit. 3, Facebook holds corporate accounts with a number of other large and highly successful businesses. Companies like Apple and Microsoft, Intel, EA, and Amazon all get a great deal of exposure through Facebook. 4, With almost 16 million active users in the state of California alone, Facebook is probably the most popular website in the world today. This is a fact it uses to rake in cash from advertising contracts. 5. Facebook is a company featuring billions of shares, 2.808 billion at present. This makes both buying and selling stock simpler because there's a good sense of supply and demand surrounding the stock. 6. Facebook stock's average annual rate of growth has outpaced even some of its wealthier competitors. Over just 3 years, the stock value has increased by more than 200%, from $38 to $88. This is a huge boom in value and not something that should be overlooked. 7. Facebook is currently larger than many of the biggest and most successful businesses in the world. Industry leaders like Sony and Cirrus Logic, HTC, and Samsung Electronics. It's huge. 8. Smaller companies with interesting IPs are being picked up by Facebook at a regular rate. Facebook acquired WhatsApp Inc. for a whopping $19 billion, while paying about $2 billion to buy out Oculus VR Inc., just to name a couple of major recent purchases. Now, in a short 3-year period, Facebook has managed to become the dominant social network stock option. Companies like LinkedIn may offer higher value per share, but the total company value is less than 1/10 that of Facebook's. Lastly, Facebook is downright addictive. People check their personal pages and other pages they find interesting, and they check them often. Hundreds of millions of logins and views occur every month, and the number of active users is only rising as time passes. The people running Facebook know a thing or two about building a successful business model and turning a profit. The business has a proven record of success, and more than anything, that's why you should trust them. That's why I trusted them back when I made my initial investments, shortly after their IPO, and that turned out to be an excellent move for me. Normally, investments come with a certain element of risk, like that one did. What I'm offering you here today is something better, something that's all but guaranteed. While it may not be the most valuable company in the world, Facebook is seeing a market capitalization level, which puts its equity value around $220 billion. This isn't taking into account their other holdings, though, holdings which boost the business's actual value considerably. The steadily rising target price for Facebook shares is all the proof most investors need to believe the company is making sound decisions. One of the most notable factors concerning Facebook's accrual of wealth is just how quickly the small-scale startup business, meant to keep college students in touch, exploded into the phenomenon it is today, and how fast that business started filling its coffers. It's one of those incredibly rare flukes, really, something that has ended up completely different from the way it started and is more successful because of it. A decade ago, nobody would have ever believed Facebook would be what it is today. Analysts and an inside source of my own concur that Facebook isn't like so many popular websites before it, which went boom and then bust just as quickly back when the .com economy collapsed. The website and the service it provides have become almost integral to the everyday life of millions and millions of people. This gives Facebook a staying power few other websites ever have possessed or ever will possess. The fact is that Facebook has shown a commitment to reinvesting profits to increase the value of the company and improve the services they provide, coupled with the inpouring of funds from countless companies, businesses, groups, organizations, and individuals who all use the website, and the traffic they create means investors are looking at a kind of engine which will create perpetually more cash. The market is just going to keep rewarding Facebook stock if the company keeps doing what it's already grown quite well at doing. So the stock is going to be grown, and I've already capitalized on that. I've earned more than $50 million through Facebook. Great job, right? But how does it help you? Well, I'm finally ready to explain that. How can you know that the growing Facebook stock will make tons of money in the long run? Market research on Facebook stock and many signs in the business world point in that direction, all of which are probably apparent to any savvy investor. Buying the stock on your own and without any help, you could probably expect to make some decent gains, maybe 10 or 20 or as much as 30% over months or years. In the investment world, these results aren't exactly breathtaking. In fact, they're kind of small, almost insignificant compared to some of the gains people have made, even compared to some of my own personal gains through investments. There are ways to make more money and faster, and we have the knowledge to make it happen. You must be wondering how, am I right? It's pretty simple, actually. The Facebook stock bot is the answer here. It might come as a surprise to you, but I didn't make my Facebook fortune from the not insignificant fluctuations in the stock's value. Starting out with $1,000 worth, like I did, and needing to pay $20 in broker fees right off the bat, I had $980 exactly. Not a ton of money. If I was doing things the traditional way, I never would have gotten to where I am today. But I wasn't doing things the normal way. See, instead of holding on to Facebook stock for months or even years, I am constantly trading it to the tune of several hundred transactions a day, every day. I buy and sell Facebook Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Where I made my money and continue to make my money is in the small movements of the stock value. I'm highly reliant on the ways the stock is punished and rewarded by its shareholders. The news surrounding the stock, the news surrounding the business, and many more aspects of the investment. Millions of people use Facebook every day, and the number is only going up. The users kind of follow each other. They stick together, and they have their own community. And what better setup could there be for a savvy trader like me with inside sources in both Facebook's development center and PR center? The potential was there. I could see it. I just needed a way to make the strategy feasible. Who has time to sift through hundreds of contracts and trades per day manually? I certainly don't. I had to automate the action, and I managed to do that, but I didn't work alone. I took what worked for me almost 3 years ago and accelerated it to make it work tenfold. 100-fold. I've combined insider information with automation of the trading and effective use of leverage to create a highly successful investment model here. To tell you the truth, this Facebook app robot software has been responsible for a majority of my wealth, something like 85% by my count. I wouldn't be where I am today without it. However, the last 3 years, I've made around 90% of my total profits through Facebook using automated software. It's not a demonstration bot or some software that features paywalls blocking function. There's no experimenting here. I've taken care of all that already, and the formulas I've drawn up over the last few years are tried and true. It's a proven source of wealth for me, but just as quickly as I found the perfect way to tap into this market, my days of fast growth came screeching to a stop. The limitations of my brokers had finally caught up to me. You see, I had millions invested with a number of different brokers, literally dozens of different accounts simultaneously, and I pretty much reached the end of my ability to invest. I just can't put more money into the accounts I've created because brokers are legally obligated to pay their clients or investors if they win on an investment. If you start winning a lot, they tend to not like you very much. I'm hated by some brokers, downright despised by a few. And when they want to limit your ability to invest, they put roadblocks in your way, like imposing maximum balance limits or limiting the number of trades you can make in a given time period. Because of these limitations, I'm unable to grow my wealth the way I used to, and this, my friend, is where you come into the equation. My Facebook bot works. It's worked for years, and I have faith that it will continue to work as it has been all this time. This is no marketing gag, no fad software or baseless claim. This isn't some charity event either, no Mother Teresa scam where I'm gonna give you something for nothing. What we're going to do here is help each other. I don't really believe in universal justice or karma or any of that. I'm pretty selfish, and I know it, and that doesn't bother me at all. I want more, and this is where my software truly differs from all the scams and scummy bait and switch systems that promise you something for nothing, with no reward or incentive for the person distributing the software. Claims like that are baloney, and after all this time, you must have at least grown wary of all the bullshit. Am I right? It just gets to be too much after a while, and then you need to find something new, something better. That's what I'm offering you today. I want you to make money. For me to continue building my own wealth, I need you to make money. And this is another major difference between my system and pretty much any other investment setup you can find. To make learning everything simple, I'm actually providing the software for free. But don't scoff at that. It's not free in the end. While I don't want any money up front, I certainly do want something. 1% of your total profits made while using my system. I'm talking about collecting 1% of your profits once a month, every 30 days. Not your initial investment, but just the profits alone. With a setup like this, it should be clear that the only way I win is when you win. Plus, what's 1% compared to all the money you could be making utilizing my Facebook bot? It's not even automatic if you're worried about that. Brokers don't allow it, and they don't know about our agreement either, so it's not something we're going to do. No, you'll be in charge of whether you pay me or not, and I can't force it out of you. What I will do is send you an email notification like this. I just need a verified email address where I can reach you, and you can choose whether to pay using PayPal, Bitcoin, or credit card. My system will calculate what you owe every month and send you an email every 30 days. You have 5 days from then to pay me that 1% of your profits. If you don't, the bot will turn itself off and blacklist you, ceasing to function. I don't want any mooches here. If you make money, you have to pay me. It's that simple. I'm not going to help you with setting up a PayPal account or Bitcoin mining or getting your credit card either. I have no time to waste, and if I'm making you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars a month, I'm not going to waste any of my time on your excuses. 1% of your profits alone is a small amount to ask. If you can't be bothered to pay it, then I can't be bothered to help you. Other people will gladly take your spot, and heck, I'd be happy to let them. So if you think we're a good fit, you can partner up with me today. You should see the access code just below this video. Type it into the form along with a reliable email address where my communications can reach you. You won't make it more than 30 days if you provide a false one. But there's one last thing I forgot to mention. See the investment tracker over there on the right side of the screen? The Facebook bot has a limited amount of funds, a kind of maximum balance, so I can keep it under the radar of the brokers. I'm not talking about limiting licenses here. That would be just insulting. But I do need to limit the trades. I do this by limiting the bot to $50 million in deposits. Not profits, deposits. This is nothing compared to the total value of Facebook and an amount that they will simply ignore. But once that 50 million mark has been reached, nobody else will be able to deposit funds until money is removed. What I'm saying is withdraw your profits early and often so other people can get a chance. Or don't, it's really up to you. I can't say if or when the volume will fill completely. What man or woman can see the future? It could be that a few big investors take up the entire deposit limit and lock everyone else out. I don't know. What I do know is that if you make up excuses and delay acting on this, you'll simply lose. That's simple enough. If you make excuses and don't do what you need to do, you don't get paid. That's something every adult knows. I could charge as much as 10% for the profits I'm promising here today, and I can't say there won't be any fee increases in the future on this project. Right now, though, I'm more than happy with 1% of the 50 million trading volume, especially with the potential for hundreds of millions of dollars in profits. By now, your personal activation code is on display beneath the video. Use it to access the bot. But remember, if I don't get my 1%, you don't get access to the bot. This isn't something I'm going to budge on either. Once you're out, you're out. Now enough of that. I don't need to be a gloomy guest with this great opportunity knocking. Enjoy the profits, but make sure you remember your responsibilities as well. Yours truly, Melissa, the Facebook Bot Walters.